Got a couple questions around consistency. First, what year did you launch the podcast?
May of 2020.
Okay. May of 2020. And it was originally during when you were doing the travel business, but the travel kind of shut down in May. And so you figured out how to transition it or what?
So the travel business took the nosedive into the shallow end of the swimming pool in March. And we were all stuck in quarantine, and I had started with the plan that I was going to finally start a YouTube channel. And then I ordered all the film equipment, and then I realized, like, Kevin, whoa, what are you doing? You can't do this by yourself. You got to have somebody who can see. And so my hopes and my dreams of being the next YouTube sensation were totally crushed. And then my sister's like, why don't you do a podcast? And I'm like, what's a podcast? And she tells me, and I'm like, well, that's a lame alternative to a YouTube channel. But much did I know, no. I finally realized, bro, you were made for this. The world of audio, where everybody who listens to a podcast is blind. Everybody only sees what they hear. And so.
So I'm going to get into the consistency thing because I am curious about it. You're talking about everybody who goes to the podcast is essentially blind since there's no video. Does that mean you don't use the video when you record on your own?
I don't.
You don't. Okay. And so today I'm recording with video. And in the beginning, I remember you were like, hey, is my video working? Like, I don't know. So you tell me, is video on? Is it showing, from over here? And, but you don't record with video. Another question, if you're interviewing somebody, do you have video on or off when you're interviewing them?
Off.
Okay.
Off.
And I think it's interesting. And I look at the person, like I'm looking at you now.
Yes.
And I try to see, like, what is your, what are you about to take a breath? Does it look like you're about to say something? Are you shaking your head? Yes or no? Uh-huh. And it seems to help me to be a better interviewer, even if I wasn't going to use the video. I like having the video because then I feel like I can connect easier with that other person. And so for you, like, you've had the experience, not in podcasting necessarily, but of seeing and not being able to see. If I was a listener who had sight available, do you think I should have the video on like Adam Adams does, or do you think it's kind of better to just have no video like Kevin does if you had the choice?
Yeah. My thing is with it is I always joke and I say that you sighted people, you sightlings, you like to use your eyes so much it's ridiculous. And so I always laugh with the whole video thing, and I say to people, I'm like, you hear so much more if you turn off the video. And I can tell you that I've had some people who I've interviewed through my journey of the podcast who, when they get on the podcast and they realize we're not using video, apparently they did not read notes that I said there's no video. And they get on there and they realize it and they get upset at first. And I try to break the ice with something silly. And I always tell them, Mike, listen, think about it. Isn't it a little bit creepy? I can't see you, but you get to stare at me sitting in my dark little recording studio. And, so I make light of it, try and make them laugh. But here's the ticket, is that most of those people, by the end of the interview, they will say to me after the fact, that was really awesome. They're like, you asked me questions that I don't normally hear. They're like, there was a way that I was just able to kind of put my guard down. I didn't have to worry about, was I looking good on camera and be nervous? Yeah. They were able to be at ease.
That's cool.
So, so I think there's power in it. And for me, it's just, I don't know. The video component is just one more component that, I recognize its ability to reach further, but I'm like, Whoo, baby. It's one thing for me to do video when I'm being interviewed on another person's show, but for me to have to worry about video all the time, I'm like, I don't know.